Good evening, everyone. This is Dale Calvert. I'd like to welcome you to our Thursday night No Fluff webinar. Appreciate you guys hopping on this evening. Excited and appreciate you being here. Uh, Appreciate you guys being here. Again, I got 17 things going on at the same time. I apologize. Uh, Let me make sure I got the recording button going. Yep, we're good. Okay, appreciate you guys being with us tonight. Again, this is Dale Calvert. I know a lot of you are here every Thursday, and I appreciate your support. All you new people that are with us for the first time, I want to welcome you as well. I hope you guys will hang around, because for those of you that are on the live webinar, this will not be available on the replay, but I do have a opportunity for you guys to access a training that we did nearly 2 decades ago, but I think it's very timely considering everything that we've got going on, everything that we have shared with you guys the last several months, really, since we started the Thursday night No Fluff webinars. I did want to take a moment tonight. Some of you may have read about this, some of you may not. There's like a nationwide time of prayer going on right now as we speak around the country. This lady is a gospel singer, mother, and has been diagnosed with cancer in late stages. And just please remember Joy in your thoughts and prayers this evening. I just wanted to mention that. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for registering for tonight's webinar. If you're brand new, the first thing you should be asking is, who is this person and why should I be listening to them? I think that's great advice. I don't care what webinar you log into, what conference call, what seminar you go to. Always ask yourself, who is this person? Why should I be listening to them? I think it's great advice. You can get the whole story of our network marketing career at mmhelp.com if you want. There's a DVD there that called The Power of a Dream that's available free to anybody that would like to get the full story. But the bottom line is, I started in the network marketing industry when I was 20 years old. I was living in this little 600 square foot home in Georgetown, Kentucky, and this is my car. It's a beat up Chevette. And that's how I got started in the industry. My first 3 years, I wanted to quit every day. It was the most frustrating thing I'd ever done. I had none of the skill sets, none of the attitudes, didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I saw what could possibly happen, and I saw a lot of other people, average people with above average desire, who had made it happen, and I felt like if they could do it, I could do it, and I was just going to keep on keeping on. And things really started to happen for me after my first 3 years. I had an experience that I consider to be life altering, and after 5 years, was able to leave IBM in Lexington, Kentucky. Leave that job, never had a paycheck from a company since. I had the opportunity and the good fortune to make millions and millions of dollars in the network marketing industry, and I think it's in direct relationship to the fact that I understood that my success was based upon developing teams of people. That's the deal. In the beginning, we're so focused on ourselves, and we're trying to figure out our time management, all the things that are necessary for us, because most of us start out part-time, as I did. And at some point, you have to have what I call the leadership development paradigm shift. And I am very thankful to have had a job that I could not stand in the beginning, but allowed me to listen to audio cassettes for 8 hours a day while I was working with a Sony Walkman. Some of you remember what that is. In July, what happened basically, guys, in 2000, Started in 1980. In 2000, I said, you know what? Uh, I've done it. Got the T-shirt. We've helped a lot of people. We've helped over 200 people on our team become six-figure income earners. I've worked with a lot of great people. I've been able to travel all over. I've been able to do things I never had envisioned on doing. And honestly, at that point, probably in about the late 90s, when you saw network marketing, uh, everybody was trying to basically we started recruiting each other and competing with each other, and we got away from the wisdom of the ages principles on which the industry was founded upon. And it was just a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, and I use this example all the time, but you open up a magazine, says we'll do 80% of the work and you keep 100% of the check. And we started, just trying to appeal to the mediocrity in people instead of inspiring people to learn, grow, develop, and let them know they can have whatever they want to have in this industry. And it just got very frustrating for me. So in 2000, I said, you know what, I'm just done. And there's other businesses and other things I want to do, and that's the direction we went in. And as soon as we made that decision and we were no longer associated with a particular company, a whole lot of opportunities opened up to us that we'd never had anticipated. And network marketing support service was kind of launched at that point, and we've had the opportunity to travel all over the world, share principles, concepts, ideas, systems with many, many organizations, and it's just been unbelievable. And on the same token, since that time, my focus has been learning and implementing other business models, and we've bought and sold different businesses outside the network marketing industry, done a lot of different things, and I enjoy the whole learning process. And so that's what I basically have been doing. And my wife and I operate 4 different businesses. We work together every single day. We have a small staff in Kentucky at our office and warehouses there, and we work with outsourcers from around the world. And in July 2015, um, I decided that the network marketing industry, which absolutely changed my life, had become so diluted from everybody. The mindset had changed, in my opinion, from developing people from to just getting them in, getting and again, this started in the late 90s, but it's like by 2015, it was at such a point where you have all these people out there trying to create brands and all this other minutia, and we've gotten so far away from what this industry is really all about and what it really takes to develop long-term duplicating success. And a whole lot of things happen. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but in 2015, I decided, you know what, I've had network marketing support services for years. We've had the opportunity to travel all over the world doing live events. Uh, we've spoken in front of 1 million people around the world, and it's so much more than I ever had anticipated being, because I was raised in a little town of Kentucky called Stamping Ground, population 400. And in July of 2015, I said, what would I really, I've got these other businesses, other things going on. What, at this point in your life, Dale, what do you need to be doing? What should you be doing? And it was at that point that I said, you know what, I'm going to build out network marketing support services. And I'm really going to focus on trying to get what I know into the market to help as many people as I possibly can. Uh, in 2000, when my phone started ringing, I never planned on sharing any of the systems that we use to develop our organizations outside of our own organization. But I did in 2000, but I've never been very intentional about it until July of this year. So we have 3 different podcasts you can find on iTunes: MM Success Stories, the No Fluff podcast, also Your First Year in Network Marketing. And you can learn more about me than you would ever want to know online. I do want to welcome all the new training club members. We had several join. I did not have the opportunity to pull that data together. I like to recognize people when I can. I know we have, what I was found interesting, we had people from 4 countries, uh, Philippines, Switzerland, that had joined, in the last week. So it's kind of cool to see that happening. So I appreciate you guys. If this is your first ever webinar on Thursday night, appreciate you being with us. I got to share this with you. And again, guys, I appreciate your input. I really do. It means more to me right now than you know, because I didn't mention this. Let me go back real quick. Since July 2015, there's really not a day passed that my conscious mind has not said, Dale, what are you doing? Why are you even, why do you even care? Just let, it's in this dissipation. The industry it's never going to return, and I have all these conscious thoughts, but you know what? My soul and my heart has never doubted since July 2015, so, but, um, there's the frustration that you have to deal with. I mean, we've had uh, uh, attacks on our web servers, uh, all kinds of stuff's happened since July that I don't talk about and I don't need to get into, but people, it's just amazing to me. It honestly is. So I say that just to say this. I appreciate your positive impact. I appreciate your negative impact, influence, comments, because it gives me talking points. So I appreciate positive, negative, doesn't matter. I just appreciate your input. Uh, but I do want to share this email from you guys. Some of you know, if I say Cindy and John, you know exactly what I'm talking about out in Seattle. And here's really, if I could put it into words, what I've been trying to do since July, this would be it. And this was an email I got last week. And she said, I've been, and again, she's on there. I know they're on the webinar tonight. I don't even have to look. I know they are. Every time I get on Periscope, I know they're going to be on there. Uh, they're great supporters, like many of you guys are. Many of you have been on every webinar we've done Thursdays live since we started doing them, and I appreciate that. We got great crowds and they're building, but this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. She said, I've been practicing my new habits for a couple of weeks now, designating for the most part an activity for each day of the week. And again, those of you that have been on the webinars a lot since July, you will relate with this in great detail. She says, Marketing Monday, and again, this is a little very creative woman. Marketing Monday, telephoning Tuesday, what's new Wednesday. You get the picture, and I do get the picture. So Wednesday she's using for education, Tuesday she's doing follow-ups, Monday she's getting the message in the marketplace. And we've talked about this, guys. You've got to get into a routine of consistency. Get in the rhythm of your business. Very important. She goes on to say everything is a place, including daily Instagram, daily promoting your business. Even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day, you have to daily promote your business. So she says daily Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Craigslist. We even have an online application for prospects, mostly for Craigslist. Cool. So, sorry about that, guys. Let me get to where I was. So when we begin, no excuses in November. I love that. We're all in the middle of no excuses November, so y'all know this is a national holiday. Anyway, she said we're set up, and see, she's so right. We're set up. She's got her time managed. She's got her promotion activity scheduled. So obviously, most people never get to that point. So you can never get set up, because doing it when it's convenient means it never gets done. I'm planning on hitting designer December with bells and lights, and just for the holidays for us, who knows, maybe it'll be deserving December. Oh, I sure hope it is deserving December. Anyway, we always love to hear you on every type of delivery, webinar, Periscope. Always, it's a boost every time. So I appreciate the input, guys, and I just wanted to share this, because for me, this is why I'm trying and attempting to do what I'm attempting to do. And just for the record, well, I'm not even gonna go there tonight, but let me just tell you right up front, I admit it, there's nothing special about November. So if some of you were saying, "Oh, November, that's the key," that you got to do it in November. November is why November's the special foo-foo dust month. It's not. I'm going to talk about how to take your business and your personal results to a new, higher, lasting level in November. Yes, I am, but it could happen in December, January, February. Pick any month. It can happen any month. There's nothing really special about November. What happens with most people, if you look at June, you look at July, you look at August, you look at September, October, November, it doesn't matter. Choose your months. They pretty much all look the same. And insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I am fascinated by this mentality, and I understand that it is the norm, that if this is describing you, then you're normal. I get that. Uh, I get that. You are. But I also know that if you stay in that routine, you're not going to achieve near what you could achieve. And you've got to get past that at some way, some level, somehow. And you cannot continue to do what you've always done the way you've always done it and expect different results. If the results you've got up to this point you're fine with, and keep doing what you're doing. What I have found over the years that nobody realizes how close they are in this industry. Man, when I was so close, I didn't realize it. I mean, really, I had been in this about 3 years and gone through the patterns that everybody goes through, trying to figure it out in the beginning, trying to understand why everybody didn't want to earn residual income instead of week to week income, and everything that we all go through, talking too much, saying too much, the mistakes that everybody makes. I went through it as well. And I can tell you, once you find the first person on your team that wants it as bad as you do, it changes everything. Many of you have experienced that. And those of you that have people that you're working with right now and they haven't found that one person yet, just continue to encourage them, because if they persist, they will find somebody that wants it as bad as they do. And once that happens, everything starts to change. Our whole mindsets, our activity level, everything. And a lot of people listening to me tonight, many of you have people on your teams. They're very, very close and they don't know it. And again, we just don't know. Consistent effort doesn't always bring consistent results, but it always creates success. You can go back and read classic books like Acre of Diamonds, and there's just so many examples in this industry and throughout history where people were ready to throw in the towel, and the next person that they enrolled was the right person at the right time in their life that was serious, went after it, and exploded it. It's happened so many times, we would never be able to count them. So there's a lot of people listening to me tonight. You are closer. Some of you are not close. Some of you are just getting started. Some of you, you haven't sponsored your first person yet, and that's fine too. And see, that's kind of my challenge a lot of times, because, the diversification of people listening to these webinars is very broad. Not just people from around the world, but I have people on here that have been doing this longer than I have. And I have people that just started 2 weeks ago. But truth is truth. And if you can learn and internalize the truth, then you can benefit from it. So many of you are very close. And then a lot of people, some of you that are listening to me tonight, you're there and you don't know it. You're there and you don't know it, because see, what happens is, I remember when I got there, I didn't know I was there, because I'd been working to get there for so long that once I got there, I didn't really realize I was there. And what happens, guys, is you have to get to a point sometime where you realize, for those of you that are doing very well in this industry, you have to realize that you are them now. You are them now. And what the heck does that mean, Dale? It means the leaders that you've been looking up to since you joined in this industry, that you're in those ranks now, and that when people You have people that are looking up to you because you are them now. So it's important. It's kind of a little tweak in your brain that you need to really understand. And it ties into with the leadership development paradigm shift that we've talked about many times, and the responsibility factor. And don't think, well, why would they ever listen to me? They don't, but and understand that everybody that gets to that level, a lot of people have the same feeling. Why are they even asking me? Why would they listen to me? I'm not really sure how to answer that question correctly. That's a sad place to be, but you have to understand that's where you're going, and once you get there, you want to know. You want to know. And the only way you can know is through basing what you're doing on very unified duplicatable systems. There's no question that the activities we take or don't take on a daily basis ultimately create success. No question. You know, there's things that we need to do on a daily basis that are easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. And if you do it daily, it's the small, daily, minute things that you systematically do over time that makes the biggest difference. And you hear different success philosophers talking about the last 5% is where where success comes from, the last 5% of your effort. And I've heard different people talk about that over the years. And I've just tried to be as consistent as I can every minute, every hour of every day as I can. And there's a lot of you, again, that have not got into the rhythm. And what is the rhythm? You saw it in the email I got from Cindy and John. It's every day you plan your work, and you've heard this, plan your work and work your plan. And it's just a consistent rhythm. And that's one of the most important things that you need to do. And if you do it at some point you're going to have to get there. So why not get there in November? Because once you finally make the decision, and it always starts with a decision, but once you start and you make the decision, and I read somewhere today, success is deciding to go for it and go for it and don't quit, that's pretty much it. This, because most people never decide to go for it, to give it up, just go for it. Let me become as good as I can become. But once you do that, then see, you decide that in November, you can take that in December, January, February, and so on and so forth. Right now, everybody listen to me, your business is either on track or off track, one or the other. There is no middle ground. There is no middle ground. You're either on track or you're off track. You say, but Dale, I'm trying to get on track. Okay. But if you're trying to get on track, what does that say? You're not on track. Everybody is either on track or off track. And it's okay to be off track. I was off track for 3 years, but I was learning, and I was getting better with my time management, and I was learning how to not talk so much, and I was learning how to generate leads, and I was learning what to do after I generated those leads. And again, most of what I learned in my first 3 years, I learned because I was so terrible when I started, because I had none of the skill sets, mindsets necessary. Most people don't. And I think you're better off if you don't. If you learn the right skill sets and mindsets, then you can teach that which you learn. And you can teach that which you learn. And ultimately, network marketing is about teaching. It's about developing leaders, not finding them, developing them. So if you're off track, I'm not trying to say, what's wrong with you? Get back on track, unless you have been on track at some point in your career and now you're off track. If you've been on track and you know what it feels like to be on track, and you know what it feels like to be in a rhythm, which again, new people probably don't know that feeling yet, but there's some of you that do know that feeling, and you also know that you're not on track. So you need to re-examine that a little bit, and you need to think about that. Think about where you're going, where you headed, what are you ultimately trying to accomplish, and get back to those daily monotonous activities to get yourself back on track. Getting on track, there's about 3 steps. Number one, and I believe this, never said it until about a month or two ago, probably never even thought about it too much until about a month or two ago. But the more that I see in the industry, the more I realize how important this is. And that is in network marketing. In network marketing, find one mentor and then learn as much as you can from multiple success mentors. And I'm not going to get into detail on this. I did, I believe, in the webinar that you can find at mmhelp.com called The Lost Secret of Network Marketing Success. I've talked about this article from Mark Yarnell. When I read it, I thought it was the best article in network marketing I'd ever read, and today I believe that 10 times more than the day I read it. And if you've not read it and studied it and even memorized it, I would. You can find it and some other really good articles. It's a free download, topmlmtrainingarticles.com. You know, it was really interesting after I first did that webinar because I had a lot of comments from that. You know, some people saying, Dale, you're an idiot. And then I had, but that was only 2 or 3, you know. But I had one guy that said, you know, he said, I mistakenly thought that I could learn the best ideas and methods from multiple network marketing trainers when I started because I was smart. I mean, you know, IQ wise, he was an intelligent person. And again, I'm obviously paraphrasing this email, and I'm not going to mention the gentleman's name, but he has been a customer of mine for many years. And he said it wasn't until the webinar that I realized that all I really did was ultimately shoot myself in the foot. And that is the conclusion that every network marketing student will ultimately come to, what this gentleman came to. And here's why. Because network marketing is ultimately about developing teams, and to develop teams of any type, it has to be a very systematic approach. No matter what kind of business you're in, if you're developing teams. And if you look at the network marketing industries, we've talked about many times, you have people that are systems oriented, you have people that are 3%ers. And personality, drive, work ethic, all that is not, it cannot be duplicated by the 27%ers, which is where you create wealth by developing those people. So that's what we kind of run into today. So what happens is you go out in the marketplace and you're learning from this one, that one, and the other one, and some teach systems, some are based on personality, and you're trying to pull the best from all of them. But when you do that, it may help you personally. It may. I don't think it does long term. I don't, because confusion creates lack of activity. And I believe if it's almost like you want to get into the hamburger business and you go check out Rally's and Wendy's and McDonald's and you're trying to learn all their systems and how they're doing what they do and how they teach what they teach. And you're going to 5 or 6 hamburger chains and you're trying to take the best of all of them and develop your chain. And the reality is that becomes very, very taunting and very hard to duplicate. Where it's like, just go to McDonald's and do what they do. They're the best at what they've done. Go there. Who cares about what the other people have done what the other franchises have done. Go find the top mentor in any field. I believe that. Uh, People ask me, Dale, I want to learn this, I want to learn that, and over the years, and again, I went through a stage where I tried to learn ad copy and copywriting until I realized that wasn't um, that that didn't interest me. I just wanted to not make crazy mistakes, but I had no desire to. Obviously, those of you that read my emails, I have no desire to ever become a proficient copywriter. Uh, but I did want to learn about it, and I went through a time when I really focused on that for about 90 days. And if you ask me then, or you ask me today, who's the best copywriter as far as teaching it, how to teach it, I would tell you the same then as I tell you now, and it's Dan Kennedy. And anything that we've done uh, throughout the last 30 plus years, this has kind of been the approach. Find who's the best and plug into what they're doing, and don't worry about trying to learn from multiple people because it'll create confusion. It really will. Okay, let me keep going here. The first step to getting anywhere, the first step to getting anywhere, success always starts, change always starts with a decision, deciding. And you got to decide you're no longer willing to stay where you are. And, there's a lot of people that want to, but until you decide to, wanting to will get you nowhere. Wanting to does nothing to change anything. Wanting to gets you nowhere. It's success always comes after the decision. Most people, I have learned over the years, most people will sit in a seminar, they're going to hear, they're going to agree, because it's hard to disagree with facts. It's hard to disagree with wisdom of the ages. I mean, you might not like it, but you have to. It's hard to disagree with it. And most people here agree and continue to do what they've always done the way they've always done it, even when they know, that what they're doing is not on track, that they are off track. They would rather stay off track than decide or make a change. And I understand that's the norm. I just don't understand why it's the norm. Those of you who are listening to me tonight, you live in the greatest free enterprise system the world's ever known. Are you involved in free enterprise? You have the opportunity for free enterprise, or you wouldn't even be listening to me. So if that being the case, why not learn from those that have gone before you instead of just determined not to decide, not to commit? Because see, if I commit, then I don't know the emotions that are attached to all that. I think a lot of it comes back to fear of failure, fear of rejection, I think. But I also know the only way you're going to overcome fear of rejection is to pick up the phone and get cussed out a few times. Uh, or whatever you're fearful of. I also know that to overcome fear of rejection is to understand, you got to respect the fact that if you're sharing an opportunity with somebody and the timing's not right, that's okay. We're all looking for the right people at the right time in their life. So if it's not right, there's no reason to take that personal. Now, we all do. I mean, I did, especially my first 6 months, but you know what? After a while, you start understanding what I'm attempting to communicate with you. And like, if I'm not involved building a team, but if I'm in building a team and I contacted somebody and said, Dale, no, I don't want to hear anything else about it. I'm focused doing what I'm doing. I appreciate that. No big deal. No big deal. We're all looking for the right people at the right time in their life. I would rather somebody tell me no. Because what a lot of people do is end up with a lot of people that on their team, they can't get them to do anything because all they have is a bunch of people that have trouble telling people no. Most people don't change until they're at a point of desperation. That's sad to me, because once a person gets to a point of desperation, emotionally, psychologically, it's hard for them to learn when they're in that whirlwind of emotional turmoil because of desperation. I talk about that in the book, Change Your Financial Mindset. So I'm just trying to share with you guys some things, because most of you cannot continue to do what you're doing. A lot of you have people on your teams, they can't continue to do what they're doing. Success is working towards worthy goals. That's the definition of success. It's not, success doesn't come from hanging out on conference calls or webinars or hanging out, at a company event. It doesn't. It comes from the daily activities and the improvement, the constant improvement to refine your skills. A lot of people today in today's environment, they're worrying about the latest, greatest marketing technique instead of leadership. And honestly, all marketing is going to be, the internet is not the internet as the internet was 5 years ago. And from a marketing standpoint, if you say, Dale, I need to learn I'm ready to learn a new marketing idea, then my first question would probably be, what social media platforms are you familiar with and have got education on? That would, and then because the internet is becoming social media. It's not the internet as we once knew the internet. And because of that, it's creating more confusion than at any time in history. People are addicted to the thing that their cell phone, and whatever's popping on that screen, it messes their whole day up because they're afraid they're going to miss something, and they're addicted to it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. During the World Series, I'm sitting there watching, the Kansas City Royals, which was awesome, and these people sitting there watching history, you know, and it's like they have a camera over the crowd, and it's like, look at all these people that got their head in that stupid phone. It's really fascinating, frustrating. It's kind of so, but understand it, because that's your market. That is your market. So you can benefit from it, but don't let it eat your lunch. Personally, you have to get yourself in a rhythm. And when Dawn and I go out a lot of times at night, I'll say, I'm just going to leave my phone. If one of the kids needs to get a hold of us, there's an emergency, they all have, everybody's got your number. Because I don't even want the distraction of my phone. I don't ever answer my phone. I'll never answer it. And I don't even look at my text messages most of the time. And because I have, until my project's finished. So I was reading something the other day that the average person logs onto Facebook 8 times a day. Your time's the most valuable asset you have. You always have to ask yourself, who's this person? Why am I listening to him? The number one challenge that good people face today in the market that you're dealing with, that I am glad I didn't have to deal with, but you do have to deal with it, is information overload. You do. And, at some level, we all do. But I'm glad when I was building, I didn't have to try to keep up with what some company was doing. That I don't care what they're doing. It has nothing to do with what my competition was doing when I started. I was just focusing on getting myself right, getting myself in a rhythm, doing what I needed to do. And if somebody did this to their, they changed presidents, or they added a new product, or they tweaked their comp plan or anything else that the competition was doing that had nothing to do with me, I'm glad it wasn't being blared to me every single day, because none of that stuff's going to get any of us where we want to go. There is more opportunity today because of social media than there's ever been, but there's also more frustration in the marketplace than there's ever been in history. There's more frustrated entrepreneurs right now than I have ever seen. And then on the same token, entrepreneurism worldwide is exploding. Network marketing should be at the top of that. They should. We should. The industry should. It's the best industry in the world for offering time and money. But what happens is we've just gotten so we've drank the we've we bought the I'm going to say we drank the Kool-Aid, we bought the food, whatever. But I mean, it's just like, yeah, there's full of people that have stories of success that cannot be documented. Let me just leave it at that. There's especially MLM gurus, that have stories of success that cannot be not documented. I think, asking somebody to, let me see that, whatever. I'm going to get off of that. But so we have to be very aware that there are wolves in sheep's clothing. And there are people proclaiming to be gurus that have never done anything and never developed anybody. So we have to be careful of all that to stay on track. There's more marketing opportunity than ever before. And a lot of us, we think, well, I don't want to miss out. Fear of loss, right? If it's a great marketing opportunity now, it will be 90 days or whenever you're ready for it. And I get ideas daily, dozens, but I have a system on my computer that just logs them, because if I'm not ready to implement, I don't want to learn much more about it. Does that make sense? If I'm not ready to implement, if you're not ready to implement, then you don't want to learn too much about it. You need to be learning so that you can implement, not learning just to be learning. I hope that makes sense. That's important, guys. It's really, really important. And it's frustrating to me sometimes, because I know, okay, now I'm ready to learn this, and I can't find where I was originally saw it. So now I have a system in place to hopefully help me not go through that. But I see a lot of people that are learning a lot of things that they won't be ready to implement for a year or two, and by the time they're ready to implement it, it won't be what it is now. But there'll be something else that you can tap into. So we feel like if I don't jump on it right now, then I'm going to miss it. And so I got it, and we're getting yanked around a lot by technology. So just be aware of this. Have your plan of daily lead generation activities. Use educational time to learn new skills, with the ultimate goal, and you all have heard me say this before, is outsourcing it. You want to outsource everything that you're doing ultimately. You want to figure out how to generate the lead, master it, outsource it. Then figure out the next thing, master it, outsource it. If something quits working that well, then tweak it, then you can go back, but master and then outsource it. And you can outsource some of the activities that will generate, leads for you daily for pennies. And we've talked about that again on other webinars. So create leads daily, study leadership, okay? And be careful about how much time you spend studying marketing, because again, once you study a marketing concept, idea, lead generation technique, you want to be able to implement it as soon as you possibly can. That's the key. And that's why we teach people in the beginning to use proven lead generation systems of the past in network marketing, like drop cards that we talked about last week. Drop cards work because of curiosity and human nature. They worked 50 years ago. Well, I don't know, 50 years ago, but they worked 20 years ago, and they'll work 20 years from now. It's not going to change. So I love those evergreen type lead generation systems because there's been some technology that generated massive leads that dries up over time. Uh, the first technology we ever used to generate leads was eBay. We sold products that entrepreneurs would buy, books, that type of thing, funded proposal concept, still valid today, but the eBay marketplace today is not what it once was. It used to be humongous. Amazon's kind of overtaken it, and they're trying to bully the other vendors around. So create daily leads, study leadership, secondary study marketing. Understand that we're different. Network marketing is different because the real product is people. Network marketing requires that you see it in two lenses. And y'all have heard me talk about the leadership development paradigm shift many times. But you have to look at it from what do I do daily? What do I do daily? And what are you trying to do daily? You're trying to create leads daily. That's the key, is lead generation, stuff in your funnel. If 3 to 5 people drop out of your funnel and you know what to do with those 3 to 5 people after they drop out, you can control your destiny in this industry. Most people never get to a point where they're getting enough people in their funnel. So you got Uncle Harry that's been up there in the funnel for about 6 years, and you keep trying to convince Uncle Harry to join your team. Doesn't work that way, guys. It never has, never will. And again, I'm talking from experience. I did the same thing. We all do it. But once I started to understand, the more leads I can generate and the more ways I can generate those leads, I don't have to worry about whose window is open, because if I can get in front of enough people, I'm going to find people where the timing is right in their life. So let's roll. Don't make it more complicated than that. There ain't no foo-foo dust. The name of the game is sorting through people. Amateurs try to convince people. Professionals sort. That's the way it always will be. And yes, when the new technology comes out, somebody's going to promise you the foo-foo dust and how you can use Pinterest to sponsor 33 people a day. It's BS. So just understand there's wolf in sheep clothing out there. Just understand what you're dealing with and get real with it, get comfortable with it, and you can row. And if you can do what we've been sharing with you guys on these webinars, I'm telling you, you can, right now, the next 3 to 5 years, it's not just about rolling. It's about taking your team to a level that most people will never even come close to in this industry. I believe there's more opportunity for wisdom of the ages today than there was when I started in the network marketing industry. Because I believe that the right people recognize truth. I think the right people, and some people just want to accept the rah rah, go go, you know, stuff as well. Some people just like to hang out where their ego will be stroked. This ain't the place with me, and you guys know that. I'm trying to tell you what I know. I want to see you progress. I want to see you move forward. So it's what you do daily, and it's doing it with the end in mind. How's it going to look like when you're done? When you're done, what's it supposed to look like? Very important. And this is the road that you're going to go on. And you come through a funnel. You're in the Great American Box. I've already talked. This is the road to $10,000 a month webinar. You guys, a lot of you already saw this. And here's the thing. I think you can go from here to here really quickly if you understand wisdom of the ages and systems. I think you can go, because I believe the market needs it, wants it. I really do. Now, again, the right people. I really do. And you can go here, and if you want to, you can just keep going up and up and up. This is how you get to 100,000 a year plus. But I mean, I think you can go from starting today to $1 million faster than you ever could in this industry if you build it upon wisdom of the ages and systems. I really believe that. And I'm excited for you guys that are getting tapped into this stuff. I mean, I really am. So, November, what are the changes you can make in November that will take your focus, production, and activity to the next level? I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm asking you to think about that. We're getting ready to wrap up tonight, guys. What are those activities? What are those changes? And this is what you need to be thinking about when we get done tonight. If you continue to do what you got to say, you know what, I'm not doing it the way I've been doing it, Dale, the last 6, 7. I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to go to the next level, and I'm going to get in a mode. I'm going to get in a rhythm where I am continually moving forward daily, weekly, monthly, not from a financial standpoint necessary. As Jim Rome said, you never ask how much you're making. You always ask, what am I becoming? Man, is that strong. You know, a lot of people worrying about their check next month. You'll never get where you could go. You'll never reach your potential with that mentality. It's about what are you becoming? It's about what are you becoming? And you just, and see the thing about it, guys, you can control all of it. It's your decision. And not making a decision is making a decision, but it is your decision. You can say, you know, tonight's the night. I'm going to take everything to another level, and I'm going to stay on this path. I'm going to stay plugged in. I'm going to start moving forward. I'm going to learn how to do this. I'm deciding. You know, I'm going to quit listening to that person. Uh, you know, to the people that aren't. I'm not getting value from. I got to ignore it. You know, some of you have been on my email list for years. You know, every January I said, will you please unsubscribe from my newsletter list? I sent that out every January for years. And I tell people, look, if I'm not giving you value, don't get my emails. You know, unsubscribe, please. Now, what is the one thing you can do? The one thing, not a half a dozen, the one thing that you can do that'll make a difference for you, that you can do right now this month. What is it? Whatever it is, do that first. Get off this webinar tonight, so you know I'm going to get that done. I'm getting it done. I'm doing that first. Do the one thing. And so anything with Dale, I'm really going to try to now. I'm really going to try to get it done. I'm going to try, Dale. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I've never seen this movie. I know that makes me odd that most people have. And honestly, I can't remember if it's Star Wars or Star Trek. I think it's Star Wars. I've never seen Star Trek either. But this is a quote I pulled from, this is Star Wars. And this is Yoda, I've been told. And in the movie, Yoda says, try not, do, or do not. There is no try. There is no try. Some of you have been trying your whole life. Stop trying, start doing. It's your decision. You can control it. You can. I hear it all the time. I'm trying to get better with my time management. I'm trying to get better helping my teams. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying, Dale. I'm doing this. I'm trying to do that. I'm going to learn how to do that. I'm trying to get my business off the ground. I'm trying. Try is a worthless word that accomplishes nothing. Now look, I'm not trying to make you feel bad tonight. Okay? When I share this kind of stuff, guys, I went through it all in the beginning. I tried and tried and tried. I did. Okay, so I'm not coming from that standpoint. I'm saying that you have within you the ability, but success always comes after a decision. It never comes from trying. Personal growth always comes after a decision, never from trying to get better. I didn't allow my daughters to say that. You aren't going to try. Trying doesn't accomplish anything. You either decide and do or don't, and it's up to you. But we aren't going to try. We're not going to try to quit leaving our coats uh, uh, all over the den floor when you walk in. They did that for about 2 or 3 months, and we had this talk sometime. And then one morning they got up to go to school, and it was about 3 degrees outside, and they couldn't find their coats. So where's our coats? They were frozen on the ground in our front yard. They didn't. They were literally frozen. So, well, Dale, that's mean. You shouldn't know. It's not mean. You know why it's not mean? Because they never forgot to hang up their coat ever again. They weren't ever going to try anymore. They were going to do it. It's the way life is. People don't want to hear it, but that's the way it is. Our results are attached to our commitment. They're not attached to our trying. You know, well, I really tried that. We say that like it's some kind of a badge of honor. I know I used to. It's like a badge of honor, but it's not. I love this. We talked about trying a lot. We talked about decide and do. Was that last week or the week before last? We did a webinar, just decide and do, and that's it, guys. Everything that we've shared up since July, I've tried to kind of rehash it tonight, because I promise you what I've shared with you on these other webinars, it's right there in front of you. It really honestly is. Steve Jobs said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living somebody else's life. Don't be tracked by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Man, it's just, people are afraid to say this kind of stuff today because it might not be politically correct or it might offend somebody. But truth is truth. Truth is truth. You decide, you take responsibility, then you can move forward. I hope that you're going to decide to let network marketing support services help you along the path. If not us, find a pinnacle leadership mentor. Find somebody that's not just done it, but taught other people done it, who taught other people to done it, as we talked about in the Forgotten Secret to Network Marketing Success webinar. We've got everything here, and it's very sequential if you know the path. If you know the path, what we teach and what we provide is sequential. Again, I don't believe people should try to learn algebra that haven't learned how to add and subtract yet. And again, it's a concept. And what is it called? Just-in-time learning. I've talked about sequential learning for years, and now you'll hear a lot of traditional businesses talking about the concept of just-in-time learning. You're going to hear more and more about that over the next year or two, three. Just-in-time learning, which means when I am ready to learn how to generate leads another way, then I learn it. When I'm ready to learn how to get people started correctly and moving forward, then I learn it. When I'm ready to learn advanced marketing techniques, advanced technology, then I learn it. But it's learning it in a very sequential order. Again, it's called just-in-time learning. And guys, for those of you that are on the training club, I hope you understand that's what we do with that. Until you know why, the how doesn't matter. That's the first thing. And for those of you that are on the training club, we're adding a lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of things there. And again, every day I'm just walking towards what I feel, and I'm That's what I'm doing every day. And there's going to be some changes coming, and probably a lot more in the training club. And they'll probably get to a point where most of my time is going to be spent with training club members. But if you're not a member of that, I don't know why you wouldn't be. You should be. And you can go watch a webinar, mlmtrainingclub.com, tell you about it. I hope tonight you found value in what we've shared. Please join us next Thursday. Next Thursday, I'm going to give you guys what you want, is my intention. I might not be able to do this by then, but my plan next Thursday at this point, which is subject to change, next Thursday is I'm going to show you how we email right now over 300,000 opportunity seekers every single month that are not on our email list. And how you can email at least 100,000 every single month, even if you don't have an email list, and you can do it for free. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's my plan to talk about next Thursday. If you're not following us on Facebook, Dale Calvert page, Twitter is at the MLM Minute. That's where we do our periscopes too, at the MLM Minute. At the MLM Minute. Let me hold on just a second, guys. Let me stop this recording, and I'll talk about the gift for live webinar attendees.